I wasn't born yet when it happened, but every time my mother recalls it, I feel something unseen is standing just behind her. Yes, I've heard the story enough times to know it by heart, but it's her silence between the words that stays with me. How her voice lowers like something might hear. How her eyes avoid the dark corners. How her breath stalls like she's still waiting for it to finish what it started. It was the early 1980s, Jackson, Mississippi. My mother was a school teacher. Back then, she'd get home a little after 3 each afternoon, exhausted from wrangling kids all day. And like clockwork, she'd lace up her shoes, pull on her running gear, and head out. Running was never about speed for her. She moved at her own pace, 10-minute miles, sometimes even slower. But it cleared her head, helped her stay sane. There was just one problem: the apartment door. She and my dad lived in a second-floor walk-up with a lock that was temperamental. Some days it took 5 minutes to lock, other days closer to 10. The key would jam, the bolt would stick, the handle would just fight back. It became this frustrating little ritual. They talked often about getting it fixed, but like most people, they never actually did. That day, it jammed. Of course it jammed. She struggled, cursed under her breath, fidgeted the key until finally, the door clicked shut. And then she ran. At first, it was just another afternoon loop. Sun high, air hot, sidewalk cracked. Somewhere near the halfway point, she heard footsteps right behind her. Not the rhythmic, aimless kind. These had intention. Then came the voice. "Hey, mind if I join you?" He quite literally appeared out of nowhere. A tall man, thin frame, curly gray hair, piercing blue eyes. Not the soft kind. The kind that made you feel like you were being dissected. He matched her pace, started chatting, asked the usual icebreakers. "You run often? Where do you live?" But with this weird, syrupy smile that just didn't reach his eyes. The questions turned personal, off, like he was gathering intel or something. She eventually just stopped answering, picked up her pace, but he kept up. That's when she spotted a side street that she knew, one that looped back to the apartment. No hesitation, she muttered something like, "I gotta go, bye," and turned sharply. She didn't look back, but she heard him, not speaking, just running. The footsteps were still behind her, closer now. Her jog turned into a sprint, muscles burning, mind blank, mouth repeating one word over and over again. "Jesus, Jesus, Jesus," like it might act as some kind of shield. The apartment building finally came into view. The stairs, steep and narrow, seemed endless. She bolted up them 2 at a time, shaking fingers, already clutching the key. And then, somehow, the door opened instantly. No jam, no sticking, no fight, just click. She slammed the door behind her, locked it, every bolt, every chain, and collapsed against the far wall of the apartment, her chest heaving like it might break open. She was barely catching her breath when there came a knock. Not frantic, not aggressive, just polite, friendly like a salesman. "Who is it?" she asked, though part of her already knew. From the other side came the voice. "You know who I am. And you know what I want. Her blood went cold. "I'm calling the police," she screamed. "Get out of here." Silence. Then slow footsteps fading down the stairs. He was gone. No other sounds, no other neighbors, no witnesses, just her heartbeat ricocheting off the walls. She didn't move for a long time. Eventually, she called someone across the street. There was a prayer ministry there, Bethel House of God. She asked if someone could come outside and wait on the lawn, and they said, thankfully, yes. She waited a little longer just to be sure, then she ran again. Down the stairs, out the door, across the street, into the arms of strangers who knew how to pray. My father had come home an hour later, heard it all. The next day and every day after that, the door went back to its old games, jamming, sticking, refusing to budge. 10 minutes of wrestling it each time. But that one day, the one day she needed it most, it opened like someone had been waiting to save her. And to this day, she swears someone was. Ever since I was a kid, I've been drawn to the paranormal. Not in a casual Ouija board at sleepovers kind of way. I mean, really drawn. Like something new I was paying attention. And maybe that is what opened the door. Plenty of things have happened to me, believe me. But there are a few stories, two in particular, that don't just whisper something's wrong. They scream it. The first time I knew something wasn't right, I was 5 years old. It was the early morning, just me and my mom at home. She had slept in my brother's room with the dog the entire night. I heard her getting up and answering a call for work, so I figured I might as well get up too. So I went downstairs. Nothing unusual. The house was quiet, still. I thought I had heard her behind me coming down the stairs, so I turned around. It wasn't her. There was a man on the stairs. Tall, dark, wearing what I now know was a fedora. He didn't say anything. Didn't move toward me. He just looked at me and tilted his hat. It wasn't exactly menacing, but it wasn't comforting either. It felt like a hello or a goodbye or maybe both. Then he just vanished. And the day continued like normal. No one else saw him. No one else was actually home. And I was 5, so I just accepted it. Kids do that. But the next one stayed with me for years. From age 6 to 12, I had someone in my room every single night. I called her Marina. I don't know exactly why, the name just fit. But that was never really her name. It was something else, something older, something heavier. She looked like a woman, long black hair, pale skin. She never spoke at first, just sat on the edge of my bed and hummed. Low and gentle, a lullaby meant for someone else. Some nights she whispered, but the words didn't make any sense whatsoever. Like they were in another language that I used to know. Like I was supposed to understand or something like that. And each night, each week, each year, she got closer. At first, she sat near my feet, then by my legs, then right beside my chest. By the time I turned 12, her face was nearly level with mine. I could feel her breath, her cold presence. And then I moved out of that room, into my brother's after he left for college. Just like that, she was gone. But not entirely, because sometimes on quiet nights I feel her again. Not in the room, but just outside the door, waiting, like she's hoping I'll come back, like that room still belongs to her, like I still belong to her. I avoid it now. It's my mom's office, technically, but I only go in when I absolutely have to. The air feels wrong in there. Heavy, expectant, hungry. No, I don't have any dead relatives buried nearby, no tragic backstory, no unfinished family business. Just ghosts. Ghosts that seem to pick me for no reason at all. Now that I'm older, it's much quieter. No more figures at the edge of my bed, no more lullabies, but I still hear their voices sometimes. See things that aren't really there. Shadows that don't belong to anything. And I still wonder to this day, why me? Why was it me? And what happens if I go back into that room one night and Marina's still sitting there humming like I never left? This happened 2 nights ago, and no one believes me. No one except my brother. We just moved into a new house. Quiet neighborhood, friendly faces, close to my school. The kind of place that just feels so normal, you just stop paying attention. We knew the previous owners. That's about it. Nothing shady, nothing strange. Everything just seemed fine. Until it wasn't. That very night, I was in bed with my dog. A movie was playing and the lights were off. Just me and the screen glow. I sat up to reach down and pet my dog. He was curled up at the foot of my bed. And that's when I saw her. A silhouette. Human, female, but wrong. She was shorter than average, too thin, like someone who hadn't eaten in weeks. She didn't float, she didn't glitch, she just walked from the far corner of my room near the front of the house straight across to my walk-in closet. No hesitation, no sound, just that slow, intentional pace. Like she belonged here. I froze. At first, I told myself that it was absolutely nothing, just a shadow, my eyes adjusting, a trick of light. And then my dog snapped. He leapt up and started barking like something was tearing its way into my room. He charged the closet, growling like I've never heard before. That was just the start. Later that night, I was asleep. Dead asleep. And I woke up to a knock. It came from the wall I share with my brother's room. I thought it was him. Maybe he just couldn't sleep. Maybe he needed something. So I reached for my phone, and the second my hand touched it, it buzzed. One message. What do you want? It was from him. My blood turned cold. I texted back, "What? I thought it was you." No reply. I just laid there, phone still in my hand, eyes locked on the wall. Eventually, I fell asleep. Somehow. Morning came and I was still so rattled, trying to shake it off, when my brother walked into the room and said, "Hey, wake up. Also, why is your closet light flickering?" I sat straight up. He was pointing to the closet. The same one where she walked into. The light was flickering, but the switch was off. We actually checked. I showed him everything, told him everything, and he actually believed me. We went to our mom, told her everything, word for word. She just laughed it off. said we were dreaming or lying or losing it. But over the past couple days, it's only gotten worse. I've heard knocking from inside the wall, inside the closet, even from under the bed. Sometimes faint, sometimes like someone wants out. I haven't seen her again, but I've smelled her. Rotten flowers like something died at a funeral that no one showed up to. Sometimes I wake up and the closet door is just slightly more open than it was the night before. And sometimes I get the feeling that the moment I look directly into that closet, she'll be standing there, staring back. I don't know what she wants, I don't know what she is, but I know this. Something followed us here, and it hasn't finished moving in.